Projection Festival. Each year we set a theme for the festival, and essentially it's to put one theme. Last year was urban perspectives. This year is the dream. You know, some dreams are bad, some dreams are good. It doesn't matter, but the main thing is that it gives an opportunity for all of our groups and our artists to individually show us what their dream is to us, so that we might get an insight into each other's diverse thinking around, you know, what is a dream for you? What is a dream for another person? And so really the festival objective is using art to show each other's perspectives on one issue, and that's what we find is the beauty of it at the same time. First year was last year, so welcome to the second Gertrude Street Projection Festival. Last year we had 56 artists. This year we have 100 plus.
I suppose with projection installation, I can utilise real spaces and objects, and then and find spaces and be able to respond to them. Site-specific works, respond to them emotionally or even just logistically. Projection for me also means I can do work outside of the gallery a lot as well. My most favourite works have been works that are outside where the public just stumbles across the work. I wanted a space that I could replicate actual shadows, so a tree out the front, signage, a signpost, something like that, so we could replicate the actual shadows and then the shadows change into different things. The work that's up at Dante's, so I've taken photographs using the projector in the space, plus taking photographs of the projected installation, which was a site, the Seven Sisters work was a site-specific work in Eltham. And I took photographs just to document the work. They were so beautiful that I actually used them in more works, like photographic works, archival prints on hand and mule paper, and they're gorgeous because I really wanted to respond to the, you know, Australian bushland. Then I focused just on the Aboriginal myth of the women coming down from their Seven Sisters coming down from the Pleiades, and then they get chased and then they fly back up. And so yeah, some of the Aboriginal myths are that they turn into birds. Some of them, you know, they just zoom up. But yeah. Looking for sites for the main work that I was going to do, which was a whole building site, looking for the tree thing. I just walked by the site at Beaver with the AO posters, and I'm in an all-girl boy band, and I was just like, oh my god, that would be a great project to do, projecting onto those posters if they were whited out, and we created our own pseudo advertisements for a pretend tour and CD launch. So that's how that work came about.
I start with an idea, and then things inevitably don't work out sometimes, or sometimes they work better than you expect, and it takes you on a new path. Get all excited about it, and then yeah. So definitely, it changes all the time, constantly.
Yeah, it does change, but I think it's more about having the concept, or it's like a dream. So you dream, you have a vision of something, and then it's about to learn how you can actually make it real.
We've been together about 10 years now, thereabouts. It depends. I mean, there's different levels of beginning. You know, there's jamming in the garage, and
I think it was probably 2002. So that's 5 to 7 years, I think. The release at the Projection Festival was a release of what we're calling a CD-DVD, because our releases are actually CDs with kind of I suppose recorded audio, but they're also releases of kind of short films that relate really specifically to the compositions.
Like when we're writing something, we're also thinking about visually what's going to be going with that, and Guy and I may already have sort of shot something. So sometimes the musical idea will actually come from the vision that we've already conjured up. When an audience is watching, they're not just watching musicians on a stage, they've got visual material to connect with, and that also connects with the space because of the way it's working, you know, projecting onto the walls and things like that. Our performance is kind of lit through, rather than having spotlights on us. Our spotlights are other projections, so we're kind of seen through and as part of the projections.
Like we kind of play music that has a really strong relationship with kind of drones and that kind of like mesmerising sort of way of kind of creating music, I suppose. Something like the Gertrude Street Projection Festival is just so kind of like central to our creative practice. It was kind of the perfect opportunity. So yeah, we had a really wonderful night. It was a really wonderful gig.
And it's nice having other people who are also interested in that crossover between mediums at present and all congregated together.
When the festival's on, there's a small kind of little bit of magic kind of happening, and the street is ever so slightly enchanted by these images which are sort of occupying its walls and its streets and its windows, and yeah, I think it's really special.
When I first discovered projection, and it was more to do with not just one projector onto a screen. It wasn't that about it that excited me. It was when I started to kind of put a projection beam onto a surface or onto a wall or carve into an architectural space. But then I discovered when I put 5 or 6 or 7 or 10 or 20 projectors in a space, this amazing thing happened, right, where it transformed the space and created an environment that people could really engage with. Very often the site is the thing that's the instigator, right? So rather than just giving an arbitrary site, often what I'm doing is choosing a site that already has something about it that has some importance about it. Then it's really a process, a frustrating process, I suppose, of constantly trying to research and think and imagine what could happen, like an imaging on this building, right? So rather than seeing it, because I've never seen projection as something that you just arbitrarily just project stuff that you already have. I mean, I've always been interested in occupying space with projection. I've always been interested in experimenting with projection as if it's like a sculptural kind of thing. So it all comes out of this whole idea, I suppose, around about the 60s, late 60s, where there was a concept about dematerializing the art object, and that just seemed to be a really attractive idea to me. And I thought, well, what you could do by dematerializing the object was try and find strategies that artists could work and find places to make their work that existed within the sort of the civic space, the public space. And that's what led me into projection.